Hey everyone, welcome back to Kubota Farm here in East Vineland, New Jersey. And we're picking up kind of pretty much where we left off last time with a little bit of confusion and then I think a resolution to the confusion. So I ran out of slurry. Let's see here. I ran out of slurry about halfway, as you can see, on our fields 9 and 8. And that's fine, but I started looking around at these fields and look at these things. They're just striped and they're not right. And in fact, when you walk over to the areas that I've spread slurry, there's areas that say okay, there's areas that say good, and then there are areas that just say bad. Like almost like the slurry didn't take. And yeah, bad, bad, not good. And it's the same over there on our other sugar beet field. And in fact, it's even visible here, I think, in spots not as bad on our grass field, but still not exactly right. And it got me thinking, do I have a mod problem? Is it our slurry taker that caused the problem? Is this thing is it not spreading right according to the game? Is there something goofy going on with that? And through some troubleshooting and different things, it kind of dawned on me that I think, and maybe I should have known this, but I think with slurry you have to do a double application. And I came to that realization when I did not see the ability with this slurry tanker to apply a double application rate. Now, is that something you can do normally with slurry, or is that only with manure? I can't remember, but I did a little testing, and I grabbed a base game slurry spreader. In fact, I grabbed this. Which slurry spreader did I grab here? I grabbed this one right here. And I thought, well, okay, this is base game. Let's give it a go. I took it out, filled it up, went over, didn't help at all. I thought, well, that's kind of odd. Then I skipped ahead to the next day. So I skipped ahead to May. And I grabbed our tanker right here. I filled it up with slurry and I took it over. And sure enough, it was spreading slurry perfectly, or as far as it made up for all the deficit areas. So it took care of all of this red area stuff. So I don't know. I haven't done a lot with slurry. Is it a double application typically, and is it? I don't know. And or is that only with manure? I'm a little bit confused about that. But regardless, we're completely out of slurry, so we're kind of stuck there. But I figured what we can do, well, we can do one of two things, kind of. We can buy slurry, that multifunction silo right there from 82 Studios will allow us to buy slurry. I checked that, and it's $1,500 for a tank full for 60,000 liters, which isn't very expensive if we want to go through and spread a second application of slurry in May. Or we can just go to the old reliable right here and grab our fertilizer bags. We have some fertilizer over here, and we can fertilize with standard solid fertilizer, and I think take care of the problem post haste. And I think that's what we're gonna do, is we're just gonna go and fill up with fertilizer. I have to finish off fields 8 and 9 anyways, and this, after doing some testing, will also take care of any of the deficit areas that the slurry didn't take care of. So all I could gather from this is either one, I've got a weird mod thing going on, which I don't think I do. I don't think I have a mod conflict, and I don't think it's a problem with that tanker. I think Slurry requires a double application. At least that's what I found out through my testing, was going and skipping head to May, laying down more Slurry, and that seemed to solve the problem. Now, if we look, and I haven't really looked in our improving yield, liming, fertilizing, I don't know. It says you can buy liquid and solid fertilizer tanks. I don't think it mentions anything in the in-game help. Okay, right here. You can increase the yield of your harvest by fertilizing and spraying your fields after sowing. Spread fertilizer twice, plus 23% yield bonus each time to gain maximum. Of course, I think that's without precision farming. It doesn't really say. Digestate can be used too. It's a byproduct produced by delivering silage to the biogas plant. It doesn't really say, I don't think, if Slurry has to be used twice. But that's what I saw with my testing. So if any of you can confirm that, I would appreciate it. If that's not true, then the next question is going to be, why isn't there... Okay, we're going to do something because this is going to bug me. I'm going to take you along for this ride. And it's going to be a little cheaty, so bear with me, but it'll make sense. So we've got 1 million, we've got 73,244. 73,244. I'm going to go ahead and we're going to lease this thing right here, okay? What are we going to pay? Actually, we just need to know this. $39.52. Okay, so $39.52 we just paid to lease that. I'm going to go ahead and put that money back in the bank. So $39.52 is going right back in our bank. And what I want to do is I'm going to hook up to this fertilizer, or to this slurry spreader. I know this seems a little bit odd, but just bear with me. And we're going to, I just want to see, poor little M5. Change nitrogen reference value to activate automatic. Yeah, I don't see, unless we have to fill it. Let's fill it with slurry. I don't see where it says to lay down a double, or lay double activation rate. Maybe that's only with manure. Interesting. So my guess is then, or my thought is, at the end of all this, I can only assume that either I've got a problem with something, a map with the map mod, you know, whatever, or it's a lot simpler than that. Slurry just requires 2 applications, or I'm applying it wrong. I don't know. It's weird. I'm trying to remember the last time I actually really used Slurry, and it's been a while, so I can't honestly remember. So please, if you know, I guess I would love to know your thoughts on that. If Slurry does require a double application rate, if it doesn't, well, then we got another problem going on. Let me go ahead and slide this over. I'm looking for our other, where's our blue? Usually I can see it pretty clearly over here, but I'm having a hard time seeing our, oh, there it is. I see it now. All right, I think that'll work pretty good right there. Hit the gas, Brad. Hit the gas. And clearly, you know, this solid fertilizer is taking care of business quite easily. I just wasn't expecting that. I was honestly expecting that that the slurry would do the same thing as this fertilizer, the standard solid fertilizer would do. I think I need to turn on crop sensor just in case. Not exactly sure if that makes a huge difference, but we're going to do it. So I hope everybody's having a great Friday. I hope your Friday's a little less confusing than mine is. We're gonna spend some money today as well, and I feel like we're just gonna take and we're gonna finally buy that field. I think to finish off that field right over there, that large field, to finish off our local farmland. I think we might as well just get it done. It'll chew up quite a bit of about half of our cash, but it's a really good size field, and it's got grass that is ready to mow and take care of. So we're going to get a lot of grass and or silage off of the field, which will help pay for the field pretty good. So yeah, kind of a win there a little bit. I just run into these things during Farming Simulator, and you know, inquiring minds want to know. You know, inquiring minds need to know. I'm just looking to see what this field. This is looking pretty good. I'm wondering if it's going to spread anything. Oh, yep. So it is picking up little spots here and there. Not a lot, though, is it? Very little. I think we're going to run into quite a bit more over on our sugar beet field. Then it makes me wonder, does it have something to do with the crop selection? I mean, obviously different crops require, I guess, different amounts of nitrogen, right? So maybe that's part of this equation. This is what, a sunflower? I believe this is our sunflower field. And maybe sunflowers don't require quite as much nitrogen. But let's go ahead and roll out of here. And let's head over to our sugar beet field that's over here. And actually, we could even take a look at our grass field, but we'll take a look at our sugar beet field here first. And let's see what kind of... I'm going to have to line this back up again, I guess. All right, and let's move it on over to the right. Make sure we got good coverage. I'll back her up here. But yeah, it's curiosity. It was really unexpected. I really, you know, I noticed it when we were spreading, but I didn't really think much of it. You know, it's just one of those things where it's like, is the game just displaying something kind of weird? But look at how much, you know, look at how the fertilizer, the solid fertilizer, is doing to this field. And I mean, we really covered this field with slurry. So it is confusing. It is confusing to me. But I guess the most important part is we're just going to get the fertilizing done regardless. I was kind of hoping for using only slurry this time around for the most part, just for our environmental score. But I would rather have, honestly, I would rather have a lower environmental score and a better yield. I would think that would be preferable. And I was wholeheartedly, when I leased that in-game slurry spreader, I was really kind of thinking that it was definitely going to that it was going to fix, that it was going to apply correctly, and that it was going to be, and that ultimately I was going to be able to blame the mod for not laying down slurry properly. But it's either something I'm doing, which I'm not sure exactly what that could be, or it just requires a double application, and that's the way my tests went. So, like I said, when I skipped ahead to May and grabbed our tanker again. Whoops, and grabbed our tanker again. Thank you very much, by the way. Oh, it's bad. It smoothed out the nitrogen and made it correct throughout the field. So, I don't know. You know, if you're a scientific person and you're into testing things like that, I guess to me the results would mean, my theory would be that slurry requires 2 applications, and I would say it was reasonably fair to say that my tests have proven my theory. Could just be talking out of my hind end too. Who knows? But we're gonna get these fields. We're gonna get these fields fertilized correctly one way or the other, so our yields don't suffer. Environmental score, if it doesn't like it, well, bummer. Bummer, too bad, so sad. As they say, as the kids say these days. I don't know if they say that these days or not. Oh, speaking of, I actually found a my high school video yearbook out on YouTube today. It wasn't my graduation year, it was actually a couple years after, but it was very close. It was close enough to where it just really was like, wow. It was like stepping back into a time machine. Really kind of crazy, but a lot of fun, needless to say. All right, let's take a look at these fields that we've gone over again now. The grass field doesn't surprise me. It's always been a little bit goofy. This field, I'm guessing because it's a mix of slurry and the spread that now we're maybe over nitrogened. I don't know. I'd say as long as it's detecting good or perfect or whatever it wants to detect, the stuff's not mowed, so I can understand why it's not seeing that. If we run over to our sunflower field again, pH I can understand being a little bit low, just because I think this might be our last. I think this might be our last yield, or our last harvest, before we have to probably spread lime again, would be my guess. But let's move on up to our other sugar beet field. These look pretty good. Our corn looks good, but this other sugar beet field looks a bit atrocious. Let's see if we can't. At least it's not using a lot of solid fertilizer, so that's kind of nice. Probably just another reason to get rid of the pigs once and for all. If the slurry's not going to do what I thought it was going to do, that's really the main reason I was keeping them around. Sorry, pigs, but you might be going bye-bye once and for all. And let's just see how things are looking here. Oh yeah. Clearing that right up. Yeah, I'm not sure why the grass field never seems to quite look right for nitrogen or pH. It always seems like on the map it's worse off than it's showing it to be. I'm not entirely sure why that is. We did plow that field up, so it's not. I don't think it's you know, because it's meadow. It's not meadow grass, right? Didn't we? We plowed that field up and got some real grass planted on there, if I remember correctly. And are we going to make it with the fertilizer we have? 5% left. I'd be happy if we get a good majority of this down to 4%. We might just make it. It's not using a whole lot here. So I hope you all have big plans for the weekend. I do not. I'm going to relax. It's been a stressful week for me, so I am planning on taking it easy this weekend, maybe getting a couple, 2-3 chores done. Other than that, it's probably just going to be kind of a chill weekend. I'm probably am going to play a little more farm sim. I'm also probably going to play a little bit more of that Half-Life 2 DLC. That's got me. That's kind of got me back into Half-Life 2 a little bit. So I might even play some more of that too. This is all looking perfect. It says this all looks really good. Yeah, I'm not 100% convinced on what's going on with the slurry, but I'm happy with what it's reporting as far as yields and stuff like that. So we're just gonna run. We're just gonna run with it and call it good. And you can even see here on the grass field how it's just kind of a little bit uneven. But again, that's not completely surprising with a mixed match of enough slurry, not enough slurry, and all that fun stuff. And we almost used up all the fertilizer we had, solid fertilizer we had, so that's all right. So this is the field I'm thinking. Just to finish off kind of our whole little plot over here is this field here. Not the greatest potential for yield, but it would be nice, I think, to finally get that out of the way. It's either that or we've got this guy here for 574, basically the same price. Nicer or better yield potential though, which is kind of nice. And then of course we've got our neighboring plots here. This one's not too shabby and it's in the 678. That's actually one of the larger fields on the map too, isn't it? Where is that? That is across the street over here. Let's take a quick guided tour just to see. Okay, so this guy right here, yeah, that may not be too shabby either. That field there, and then of course we don't own this land right here. We could buy that someday, but don't think it's really worth it right now to do that. I don't think we're really looking at getting into cows at this point, so this land right here is kind of out of the question. Um, this field right here is an option. It's kind of a nice field there. And honestly, I think any way we go, I think we'll be able to bank enough money on our next sales to be able to pick up whatever field we decided not to grab, you know? Whoops. So why don't we go ahead and finally pick up field 7. Let's go ahead and buy that just so we have a nice, we don't have any neighbors encroaching in on us. We can do that route. We do need to buy the soil information. So that's taken care of. And at that point, we have a great deal of grass to cut over here. So we need to get all this cut, and it looks like the nitrogen and pH are good and okay, so we'll live with that. Expected yield is at 96%. So not too shabby, actually. I think we'll do pretty good with our silage, our grass take on this. Let me show you one other thing before I let you go on what has me tempted. If you want to share any feedback on this, that is in the used sales lot. And I really, really like this John Deere forage harvester. I mean, I think it's my favorite in the game. I don't know. There's something about the way it looks. I think it's sporty, but kind of sporty looking. Oh man. But I really do. I really do like it. And we would actually probably bump it up to, we wouldn't have to grab the biggest mower or the biggest motor. I would say we'd probably want to do like maybe a 540 or 585 horse, just because typically I would want to drag I'd want to drag a decent size trailer behind it. So I think the bigger the motor we can afford, the better. So we could even go with 625 horse. That's $303,000 right there. Adding GPS would be smart. And at that point, you're looking at $318,000 for that. To own that, of course, we won't have any headers. But, oh man, I do like that. Got to give it some thought, though. I mean, right now it'd be nice. We're going to use it for poplar, but we're not going to continue to do poplar. We could use it for corn if we decide to do chaff. We could use it for grass to pick. Oh man, yeah. There's things we could use it for, and it's just one of those pieces of machinery that I love having on my farm. So let's give that some thought too. We've got enough money to buy it, or we don't. We continue to lease one when we need it, and we save up for another field. So I don't know. We'll figure it out. But most importantly, I appreciate y'all joining me again here on Kubota Farm. Thanks for putting up with me. Let me know what your thoughts are on the Slurry application deal. I'd love to know your thoughts on that. I might do a little Google foo after this and see if I can figure something out as well. But honestly, I trust you all more than I trust Google. So, does Slurry require a double application like we used to do with regular fertilizer without precision farming? Because that's the way it seems to be working on this map. Um, yeah, let me know. Have a great weekend. If I don't see you, I will probably post something this weekend, so stay tuned. Otherwise, stay safe. Take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. I'll see you back here real soon on Kubota Farm. Bye for now, everyone.